You may think you're the only one going through something, but you never know that there's a lot more people going through the same exact things as you.
As you release the baggage and step into your fruitfulness, it's pretty much allowing you to blossom into who you were called to be.
We can lean on one another. You don't have to hold your whole bag by yourself.
I was able to see and identify who I really was. I felt my identity rising. I didn't feel like the baggage covered my and suppressed the identity of who God said I really was.
That for me was something that was like, maybe it's time for me to stop ignoring the baggage and actually figure out and dig into it.
I was a kid where I wanted to know, why is mommy so angry? Why aren't you telling me stuff?
Hey, family. Welcome back to season 2 of our podcast, Legacy Matters 3N, where we believe in talking about legacy matters because building a legacy matters. I am beyond excited to kick off the season today with something extremely, incredibly exciting. Today I'm joined by a powerful group of women. We'll talk to these three and then we'll add to it in a little while, but these are women that I've had the honor of mentoring and building legacy with, women who've been on a journey of healing, of honesty, and a journey of hope. This episode is more than a conversation. It's a continuation of a life-changing forum we did where it was entitled Reclaiming Our Fruit. We started off by uncovering hidden baggage, those things that are hidden in our families and those experiences that we have had that many times cause a surmountable amount of shame, regret, of pressure, those things that we felt like we had to hide behind, and all we needed was some sisters to talk about it and hold us up. So we're going to delve into a little bit, not of the conversations we've had, but how the conversations with uncovering hidden baggage have given us a different level of freedom to dream again, freedom to take those visions that have died and bring them back alive, freedom to know who we are and whose we are and what real identity looks like. So we have maintained a new amount of growth, of confidence, and of purpose through the conversations. But now let me tell you something. We are determined to reclaim all of it. So I say to you, just pull up a seat, open your heart, and get ready to hear some real stories from some real women, some of my daughters, and at times my sisters. At any rate, we lean on each other as we move forward again with dreaming again and believing again. And now that you've heard a little bit about the episode, I want to bring alive the voices behind the conversations. They're what we call covenant conversations, those conversations that you didn't even think you'd ever be able to have with anybody. But now we see the importance of having someone to lean on. No one is an island, no matter how many times you feel isolated. So these daughters, these dreamers, these overcomers, they are ready to share and tell you what it looks like to pull back layers, confront the baggage, and reclaim everything that's lost. It doesn't matter how it was lost or who caused the loss. What matters is that you're able to reclaim it. So let's dive in. I want to introduce to you several of the young ladies, and they're beautiful women inside and out, and they are definitely walking into legacy. They're definitely having some talks and some conversations and some experiences that are allowing them to really know who they are. And first, I want to introduce to you Shawanda Battle, and this is Benjanae Morgan, and my sister and nurse practitioner, Jackie Owens. Jackie works with me with the girls that we've been afforded the opportunity to talk with and to help grow and to help uncover hidden baggage and just the support that they need, they also give to us. Keeping in mind today that this is not an interview but conversation, I want to get the conversation started, and I want to first have Shawanda we're gonna call her Wanda. That's what we call her. I want Wanda to just share with us. You're one of the newest young ladies to join our mentoring group, and not just that. By the way, we're God's girls with a Z, and not just one of the newest members of God's Girls, but one of the newest members to be able to open up and share your heart. Can you just let's talk? Let's talk. What is it that made you say yes so soon to being a part of our forum?
What made me say yes to being a part of the forum is, for one, just being a part of the God's Girl. It's you feel welcome. Like you don't. It's not anything that make you feel like you're judged. Like we can talk about different things that may be triggering to us or that may hurt us, and we can, or I can actually know that you all are going to accept what I have versus looking at me differently, and just to be able to impact you all just as you impact me, it's a big thing for me, and I'm ready for the journey with it.
It's amazing sometimes when we have our conversations, how you can come in with one view of what something means or a word or a concept means and leave with another after you hear other people's stories. Or so many times we base things on what our parents told us or what we hear in the church or what we learned in school, but it's nothing like sharing real life experiences and stories with each other. What do y'all feel like fruitfulness is? What does fruitfulness mean to you now? Okay, we know fruitfulness, what it means from the dictionary as far as increase or bearing a harvest from planting some seeds. We know what fruitfulness means from the book knowledge, but now that we've talked about unhidden baggage and losing a part of ourselves and losing a part of our identity based on things that we've gone through or experienced, what does fruitfulness mean to you all now when we say reclaiming the fruit?
I would say it's a choice. The reason why I say it's a choice is a lot of times we hold on to baggage, we hold on to everything that's been holding us back based on things that we were told, things that we experienced. And I realized as you release the baggage and step into your fruitfulness, it's pretty much allowing you to blossom into who you were called to be. And for a long time, I held myself back. And sometimes it becomes a thing of it's not about what other people think. It's not about what other people told you. It's yourself at this moment and what you choose to do with your own life and putting yourself in alignment to pretty much do better and want more for yourself. I realized for a long time I made myself small in order to make other people happy, but then I kept feeling like I'm still in a box, like I'm still stuck in this small suitcase, but I'm not expanding. So once I started letting go of the baggage and letting myself blossom, I started to see things unfold for me. Yes, it's still a process that you're learning and you're pushing through, but over time, you realize you're slowly but surely getting to where you want to be.
Yeah, and I like that word, a choice. I love, we just had a conversation in the car, and all of us didn't ride together, but we had a conversation. One young lady grew up without mom nor dad. Um, I grew up with mom and grandma. Um, Jackie lost her mom in her mid-20s and her father before she was a teenager. One of the other girls lives with her mom. Another one knows her, and we all had pretty okay lives even with that. But it's something about sharing other women's stories so many times that gives you the hope needed, the press needed to make the choice. Because so many times we're made to feel like things are about us or life is so bad when you hear other stories and you realize, why am I complaining? So it's something about the sisterhood and it's something about having other ladies in your life that are transparent and won't mind talking about where they are, where they came from, their fears, their shame, the guilt, the regret, because it's only in facing it, it's only in taking those things that have been so painful and bringing them to the surface and being able to face them. And for you all, it was wonderful watching because even with the facilitators in the room, we didn't have to say much. We just joined into the conversation because once you have that support and you're in a no judgment zone, you realize I can grow from this. So I love the word you use, choice. And that's what so many people forget. You have a choice in the matter. It doesn't matter what has happened. It doesn't matter what happened back there, but how will you choose to move forward? Or will you choose to move forward? So that was good. Well, would you all say that there was any hidden baggage in your lives that surprised you when we were talking, when it was revealed? Because I think pretty much everybody in the forum faced something that they had not been wanting to face. Is it anything that surprised you as we were uncovering hidden baggage?
I would say for me, it wasn't really a surprise, but it was more so of a realization of you may think you're the only one going through something, but you never know that there's a lot more people going through the same exact things as you, sometimes maybe even more, but you also have that group of people that you can confide in when it comes to certain things without feeling judged or without feeling like you're less of a person because you've dealing with that, like depression or just anything. Yeah.
Abuse.
Yeah.
Feeling, like you said, less than or like a failure. When I just realized that everything that we've experienced, is the one thing that I want all of you all to always remember, that your failure is never final. It is not. What do we do when we fail in school?
Keep
Or at
going.
something that we absolutely. So our failures are never final, but it always helps when you have someone else to take the journey with you.
Yeah.
So
I would like to say something too, as Wanda was saying, finding out that we all share some of those same things, the anxiety, depression, and as we claiming it as to be baggage, one thing that we realize as God's girls and as ladies and growing women of you all becoming and are already, how we get to lean on one another. You don't have to carry yours by yourself. And that's when you said that, I say, well, when we feel like, oh, I have that too. I dealt with that too. I'm dealing with that too. And we all think we're doing it by ourselves. But as we here as a group of ladies and God's girls, we are knowing that we can lean on one another. You don't have to hold your whole bag by yourself that is heavy. And you can't find yourself pulling out of it, because we're going to help you let some of that stuff go, as we'll even be able to let some of our own stuff go, and we come out lighter altogether. And that's the whole purpose of being this group.
as a mental health practitioner, I enjoyed even the conversation that we were having when we were writing, just looking at schizophrenia and bipolarism and some of the other mental health challenges that people have. I enjoyed that because you often wonder if they had a forum like this, if people had a forum, and a lot of times it's not family. Would the world look different with the struggles that people have, with a lot of these mental illnesses? And in the car, you were sharing with us about so many of the stories that you have to encounter as a practitioner. And we just can look at the fact that we all could be there if we didn't make a choice.
Yeah.
We could make a choice. So how would you all say it felt to confront the things? Wanda, how old are you?
I'm 31.
And what about you, Benjanae?
28.
28, 31. And of course, we have a lot of girls, well, several girls who are around your age. And then you have Jackie and I, who were both in the 50 plus club. And
More than 50 plus.
I tried to name, because people are going to think you were like 20. Come on. But how did it feel uncovering things that have been buried so long?
I say it feels free. Like you've been redeemed from something that's been like holding you back or like pulling you under. You feel like you have to dig yourself out of a pit. So being able to actually release it and talk about it, you're free. Like you have that liberty, and it's a good feeling.
Mhm. That's good. And I think I heard you, and I can concur that so many times you're carrying a bag or feel like you are all by yourself. And this is where we fail and we get through life and we have so many regrets because we've carried the baggage. I like to use the analogy of an airplane. There is a reason why you have to pay, there is a cost to carry extra baggage. And so I like to use that analogy when we're talking about our lives, when we're talking about our destiny, our futures. There's a cost, just like on an airplane. If you want to carry extra baggage, you have to pay. There's a cost in life to carry extra baggage. And so I just feel honored that we have this group of sisters to lean on, but also that we have had the vision to help you uncover those things so that you can be the greatest version of yourself that you can be. We want you to be able to, so many times, there's so much greatness in us that other people can't see because of the things that hold us bound, the things that we keep buried. So it's been a joy just watching you all move to not the next level of freedom, just move to freedom. And now we're going to move to some freedom indeed. But what are some of the lies that you believe um, you were told, or you things that you've experienced that kept you from being fruitful? And when I say lies, we're not here today to talk about the things you're uncovered. We're here to talk about the result of dealing with hidden baggage. So, can you think of anything that in your mental state or in the bad seasons, um, lies that were told, not necessarily by others, maybe things that you formulated in your own mind based on bad experience? Are there lies that you feel like now um, were actual lies?
I can honestly say yes. For a long time, I feel like my accomplishments were worthless. I actually just recently went through something to where I feel like I just wanted to give it all up. This was just the fact that I'm in grad school, I'm finishing up my master's, and it's kind of like I'm also dealing with other family trauma, not realizing that I've been able to step in rooms that my family have never been in. I've been able to accomplish different things, whether it's educational, business wise, or just life skills. And because my family have never experienced this, and because I'm the oddball, you would say, it kind of made me feel like maybe what I'm doing is not worth it. Maybe I'm doing way too much to where maybe I just need to take a step back. Yes, your life goals can become overwhelming, but I've also realized that God plants certain things in your life for a reason, and He keeps giving me the gift to keep growing as a person. So I have to take that initiative that this is my opportunity. Yes, I'm not like my family members, but at the same time, I cannot hold myself back in order to please everybody else when I'm unhappy. So for a long time, I kind of feel like, well, maybe if I do this, I'll make myself happy, but it still wasn't. So therefore, I chose to not listen to the lies anymore and focus on myself to where things are still going on in my life to where now it's like I can just brush it off and still put my best foot forward and go to where I want to go to in life and know that, okay, yes, I'm finishing up my master's, but now it's like, okay, I want more for myself. God, what is next? What do you see? What is your plan? Not according to what my plan is or what people think my plan should be. And pretty much just being proud of myself, whether it's big or small.
That's good. Can y'all think of anything, lies that have been told, even if you formulated them in your own mind, lies that were told that kept you from being fruitful?
I would say it wasn't something that kept me from being fruitful. It's something that helped me like seek it more or like crave it more. So one of the things that I've dealt with in my family, you know how you have that black sheep of the family. So my mom was a black sheep in her family. And because of her being the black sheep, we automatically as her kids were treated the same way, and we were told like, oh, you're not going to grow up to be anything, you're going to grow up on the streets, you're going to do this. So just all of those accusations and those sayings that they put out there, I had to fight towards it to make sure that I'm going to be the opposite of what they thought I was going to be, even like joining the military and everything else like that. Nobody thought I was going to make it through anything. And I came out stronger and on top of everything that they thought I was going to be. So I feel like it was not anything that kept me from it, but yeah, it helped me go towards it even more. Yeah, it pushed me towards it.
And you can still call that lies because of feeling like a black sheep. You're not a black sheep. You know, as you were talking, I thought about something. I can't even remember who said it, but I heard a preacher say recently, and this kind of helps you with your identity. He said, we're always feeling this world, always circumstance, experiences make you feel weird or like you're so different. Or he said, we weren't made to fit in. He said, and it, you know, it was comical, but it was real. He said, think about it. We're made with dust. We're made with dirt and the breath of God. What kind of creature was formed by dirt and the breath of God? And I embraced that in a different way. We weren't made to fit in. We weren't made to feel like everybody else. So if it's a black sheep that they see, oh well, you know who Wanda is. This is where knowing who you are and being confident in it. And when I say not only knowing who you are, but knowing whose you are, and that there is only one Wanda, and there is no one, there's one Benjanae, one Jackie, there is no one who can do it better than you.
And then that hashtag ETC,
What does it
embracing the
mean?
change.
Well, that's it.
Definitely embracing the change. Every change that comes my way, it's not anything that's going to scare me. I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to move forward with it. I'm going to allow it to help me grow and to become the woman that God wants me to be.
Yes.
And He's created me to be, should I say.
I heard you when you said it. For the viewing audience, would you tell them what our hashtag ETC means?
It means embracing the change.
Well, we're going to take a break in just a moment so that we can hear from a few more of our guys, girls. But before we do, can y'all remember in our forum, and, you know, of course, it went over a couple days. And for the ones who didn't start with us, it actually started with Power Shift. Y'all remember we did Power Shift? Yeah, it started with Power Shift when we used the analogy of power in the natural and what happens when power goes out. A lot of times it's because of natural causes, but having power go out can be because of human error. Having your power you go out can be because of a storm. And when you relate that to the cares and the issues and the concerns of life, same reason. Broken relationships, abusive relationships. When we talk, that's human error. When we talk about when natural causes, just when you burn out, you know, many of us are mothers. Many of us are in school, you know, we're working. We have so many entrepreneurs, and we have so many different roles. And so this, a lot of times, is what creates the baggage. And what do? We hide it and we keep going. And women more than men, more than children, take the blunt of it because of the many roles that we take on. So our forum actually didn't start there, as I was thinking about it just then. It started with Power Shift because we talked about what it takes for you to get your power back. And I can say I'm super, super proud of your progress. And I know Jackie is too. Jackie, is there anything you want to say?
I mean, you was talking about the power, getting it back, and just before we started, I was having a conversation. We was out having a conversation, and I was talking to Benjanae, just all us ladies, girls was talking, and I was saying, get in your rest. So even with that, just that's what we do, get our rest so we can become whole again, full again, to go out and continue to make your fruit. your beautiful flowers, as you say, as you became. When you become fruitful, you say blossom. So that's what we can't continue to blossom until we rest, regroup. We got to shed the old, let the fall off things that die, so that we can build and grow again with the new freshness. And that don't come unless we rest.
And we have such fun moments as well. I'm thinking about, I wasn't even out sitting with you all when you all were having that conversation, but if you all think back to it, when I came out and pulled out my vitamin dropper, everybody laughed. And everybody laughed, called me old lady, but I said that because these are the basic things that we want to talk to you all about when we talk about being mentally healthy, being spiritually balanced, because life is so busy. We are so distracted by other things, by people, by helping everybody else at our own detriment, that you can't begin to even uncover the hidden baggage and reclaim your fruit if you're not healthy mentally and physically. And so, even that, with Jackie working with us on our mental health and with us doing things together spiritually and challenging each other with the taking your vitamins and drink your water and exercise, those are the things that we need to incorporate into uncovering hidden baggage, because most of the time we're just exhausted. And that's when the mental attacks come in. That's when we begin to think negatively about ourselves. So I'm so glad that we have this forum and that we can lean on each other and we can share the things that we're doing that's helping us to be successfully and feel whole mentally before anything else. So I don't want to prolong the conversation. We're going to just pause for just a minute, ladies, and see if we can hear from a few of our other girls. So just for a moment, give us a break. Welcome back, family, to part 2 of season 2, episode 1 of Legacy Talk 3N. And I have 3 more of our girls in our group here, Sydney, China, and Christina, to share of their experiences and how life has been since they have been in tune to uncovering hidden baggage and reclaiming the fruit, all of it. Can y'all say all of it? All of it. We're taking all of our stuff back. And I want to pick up with the conversation that we were having with our sisters in part 1. I want one of you to just share with our viewing audience and with each other, because it's just a conversation today. We're still having our covenant conversations with the reminder that we're not here to disclose what we've uncovered. That's not important right now, but what we want to talk about is the freedom that has come since we have decided that we won't walk in shame, regret, embarrassment over anything that was handed down, or even anything that we have experienced that made us begin to hide from life and doubt who we are and have a problem understanding who we are as powerful women, who we are with gifts and talents and dreams and visions. So with the forum that we've been having, and we left off with talking about power shift, which all of you were in. So our uncovering really didn't start with the forum on uncovering hidden baggage. If you remember, it started with power shift and us realizing that as women, so many times we lose our power, be it through abuse, or things that were handed down from where you came from, or bad decisions, or things that made us feel like failures. And I have so enjoyed just watching you, walk in a different level of freedom in your identity, in your confidence, in your ability to dream again and thrive for those who have been barely surviving. So many of you are thriving and back in school and purchasing houses and working in ministry and just doing the things that life told you you'd never be able to do. So as we delve back into the conversation, is anyone who want to talk about a moment in the forum, just that moment when something clicked? Um, yeah, that moment when you said, I can do this, I'm in a safe place and I'm enjoying uncovering and sharing. Is there a moment that you can think of where it just seemed like something clicked?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think for me, it was when we did the uncovering hidden baggage and we had all chosen the bags that we thought represented us the most. And then when we opened them up, there was a piece of paper inside of them. And there was a long list of things that are considered baggage from your past. And as I was checking things off, that I was like, oh,
Oh.
and I was like, wow, there's a lot of check marks that I got on this piece of paper. And I think that for me was something that was like, maybe it's time for me to stop ignoring the baggage and actually figure out and dig into it. So that was the moment for me.
That's good. And to make you understand what happened, that we started off our covenant conversations with the bag, and one person had a transparent bag, and the next person had a beach bag, and someone else had a lunch box. And, it got real comical because people chose bags based on what they liked. Somebody had a travel bag because they liked to travel, something that we had picked up from another country. And so we just said, um, everybody choose what bag you want. And they chose the bag that they thought they wanted. But the point in that activity was once they opened their bag, they all had the same sheet of paper with the same issues on it. And they all, most of them, checked the same things that they would not have elsewhere shared. Some of the things that could have been embarrassing, some of the things that made them feel like failures, some of the things that were thrusted upon them based on where they came from. And so the reason that we did that activity first is to say we're all carrying something. It doesn't matter what we look like. It doesn't matter how we are already thriving or what we've accomplished. But what's important is that women usually carry the same baggage. We just learn to rise above it or to become in spite of. So yeah, that was good. That was good. That was your identifying moment. Anybody else?
I would say that when we started doing the forums, I believe that I was kind of already in a transition and season in the process of already it clicked. Like, but I feel that the forum that with God's Girls started to push me more into, okay, now what actions do I take now? So it was already revealed, okay, what do I do now? What are the steps now to seal this up? And what are the steps now to get rid of it, to tackle it, to take my power, to begin to walk in freedom? What are the steps? So I think it was just a more of a revelation of me
That's a good
waking up.
word.
What do I do about this now?
So you already identified, but you
Yes.
needed to know, y'all know I like to ask the question, so where to from here?
Yes. So it helped me take on the revelation that action needed to take place.
Mhm.
So now it woke me up where I wasn't blind anymore, where I just accepted it. Now what do I do?
That's good. That's good. Well, what fruit do you all feel like have been released since we have faced and uncovered some things?
I would say peace that surpasses all understanding. When the word says that truly you will have peace that surpasses all understanding, you can't even imagine it. Where you can wake up in a day and feel like you could take on the world, you can conquer the world, anything that comes your way, you can just master it. What else, God? What else you got for me? You can even tell the enemy, okay, what else you got for me? It's just that you really wake up feeling Romans 8:37. I am more than a conqueror through
That's our
Christ.
scripture.
So it's like I was able to feel that my power was coming back. I was able to feel the dominion, the authority that God said that we had in Genesis. I felt it arising. And I was like, okay, because the baggage, it weighs you down. And if you think about your luggage when you're going on a trip, it's heavy. I know when I was going to trip, it was heavy. I was like, oh my gosh. But when you take everything out, it was so much lighter. You just floating in the air. And I was able to see and identify who I really was. I felt my identity rising. I didn't feel like the baggage covered my and suppressed the identity of who God said I really was. But when I began to face it, the fruit began to bear, where now I felt that I could multiply in fruitness, and multiply is like where it's planted in abundance. So I felt the abundance of power rise, the abundance of authority, the abundance of dominion. I felt it all surfacing, and that also helped uncover and unmask who I really was.
I was almost about to chuckle when you were talking because China called. Well, you all know that she's an educator, but she's on a new job. And she called me one day and said, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just skipping through the hallway. Just
Yes,
skipping through the
skipping.
hallway. Everywhere I go, I'm just skipping.
Hey, I'm to the janitors. How you doing? What? And he was telling me I'm doing a great job teaching. I said, you're doing a great job too. We're all doing a great job.
But it is a different level of freedom
Yes.
when you're not burdened and baggage and walking around in shame. And to be completely honest, for women, most of the things that we are ashamed about are things that we didn't bring upon ourselves. But these are the things that so many times have gone to the grave with our foremothers. You know, they've gone to the grave because they were just taught, you be strong, you suck it up. You can't suck up things today. You got to deal with it. If you don't deal with it, it'll suck you up. So I'm excited about what's next. Tell me this, in what ways have your relationships shifted since you've faced off with your past? How have your relationship with God shifted? How have your relationships with others shifted? How have your relationship with yourself shifted?
Yeah. I think for me, what this journey has done for me was actually opening up the doors to new relationships. I reached out to my father for the first time in my life. Back
How old
in
are you
June.
again?
I'm 27 as of last Monday.
Okay.
And I've always known who he was. So I've always like known his name and where he lived and things like that. But I've never felt super compelled to reach out to him. I grew up with my uncle in the house with me, so he was a father figure. I have 2 older brothers, my grandfather, and then my stepdad. So I'm like, oh, I got plenty of fathers. Like, I don't need to know who this man is. But as we were having these conversations, I felt the need, and also just the push and the encouragement from my sisters that's like, maybe it's time to start having those conversations. And particularly when we were doing the family tree, and I had said to everybody like, oh, half my tree is completely blank. Like, I don't know nothing about that side of the family. So I did reach out to him. I actually called him on Father's Day, which was, he was very shocked, but very happy. And I got to meet him in late June. And I went to Chicago with my grandmother, and we sat down and we had brunch. And I've been over to his place, and now we like talk and we text and we check in with each other. And I think that's a relationship that for so long I was scared to have, because it's like, oh, what if he doesn't want me in his life? You know, he told me I have multiple siblings and things like that. So I'm like, what if this just isn't a good idea? But then meeting him and talking with him, it helped me to uncover a lot of things about myself, but also to understand a lot more about my mom. And so I think when you talk about what fruits have we gained from this, I think for me, one of them is forgiveness, but also compassion, and understanding that the things that she did was never to hurt me, but it was just her life to live and her lessons to learn. And so I can look at her now and say, like, she's always been a great mom. I've always known that. But it's like I understand why she did the things she did, why her relationship with him ended the way that it ended. And he was very honest. You know, the things that she told me, he said the same thing. Yeah, he confirmed it. So I knew that she wasn't lying to me about it, which also felt really nice. So I think that's been the greatest blessing right now. And now I have like a little sister. She's 5 years old. She calls me all the time. She's like, hey, sister. And she's super cute. So just being able to build those relationships with the other side of me.
And I appreciate your mom and your grandmother so much, because once you came back and shared with us how everything played out, I appreciated the fact, number one, that they supported you, but I also appreciated the fact that they were honest. so many times when you said it's her story to tell, a lot of times parents will do things from a place of protection as well. You know, maybe if things didn't play out the way they intended, then they want to protect you from, you know, the possibility of being hurt or damaged, you know, by some of the things that have happened with them. So I so appreciate your mother and your grandmother for just treating like a big girl. Let's talk about it. You want to know about it? Okay, let's talk about it. I appreciated that because that doesn't happen always. But I'm grateful in this forum that for all of us, and I can't think of but one, two with us right now who grew up with their father, their biological father in the home, including me. You know, I didn't. I have a story very similar to yours. But I don't want to, um, I would like to always feel like we're a group of women who can show other hurting girls and women that you don't have to grow up with daddy issues. You don't. And it's easy to be accepted from a group like this because for me to, you know, my cohort, Jackie, none of us grew up with fathers. You know, most of us didn't, but we're successful. And as Shawanda said, you know, with the first group, we're free and we're learning who we are and that our identity is not based in anything or anybody except for who God created us to be. And so I'm excited, and that was a good shift. That was a major shift because a lot of times when we just don't know, we grow up with voids. And I would have rather you have the experience that you had with your father. That's great news, and it's definitely a win, you know, for us that a relationship is being established. But I would have been okay if there was not a relationship established, but she got the opportunity to at least try. Because it's not a lot of times in the fact of knowing, it's the fact of not knowing that damages us, you know, as women. So, what would you all have to say to encourage um, a woman who is burdened with secrets, like many of you were prior to us having our covenant conversations? What would you say to a woman now that you're on the other side of it?
I would say, um, don't hold back because somebody has gone through what you've gone through. Somebody has done what you've done. And you could be actually holding it back from the person you're actually, you know, keeping it away from the person that you should probably reveal it to because they will be able to help you through it. Um, and I say that because I guess I want to go back even a little bit too, because going back to your parent as well, Christina, when not knowing it can hurt you in your future. I was a kid where I wanted to know, why is mommy so angry? Why aren't you telling me stuff? Did you have boyfriends? Did you do this? Did you do that? You know, help me. I didn't have a father. I didn't have a male father figure in the household. I had a drunk stepfather. I had a stepfather that was abusive. I had a stepfather that did who knows what kind of drugs. I didn't know the real man in him. So that's scary. But I will say, my mother grew up in a time where it was what happens in his home stays in his home. That's not me. And I don't want that. So I'm very open with who I am, what I've done, what I've been through. I mean, somebody's out there, you know, going through it, done it, did it, need someone that's not going to be judgmental. So I say to the person that's out there who's going to watch it, be okay with who you are. Don't worry about what nobody think. You know, somebody's went through it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And you can recover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say to women that the truth sets you free. Word scripture really says the son, who the son sets
Yeah.
free is free indeed. So truth exposes the secrets that's inside of us. Secrets can keep us in bondage. Secrets can keep us in the darkness of not knowing. Secrets can put limitations on your destiny, can put limitations on your identity. It can restrict you, it can hinder you. The bondage literally weighs you down where you don't feel free. So God even said in Philippians 1:6, I have a work to complete in you. But how can I complete this work in you if you're so full of bondage, you're so full of secrets and shame and doubt, and you're shying away? How can I complete a good work in you? You won't even let me. So I would say you have to face it. You have to fight for it. You have to fight for your freedom. And fighting is coming to the truth with it, to come in an agreement with it. Okay, this happened. Okay, I can't do anything about it. Okay, what do I do now? And healing is letting those secrets come out. That is healing when it is surfacing, coming from the darkness to the light, to exposure, because then that's when you know that the devil, the enemy, does not have you on lockdown. When the devil does not have you stuck in a cage, when he does not have you a slave to shame, a slave to what has happened to you, a slave of doubt, of fear, of anxiety, you're no longer ashamed, slave to it when you let it come out. Now you're breaking the chains. That's when they say break the chains, break the chains. When you break the chains, you're free to move now. So I would tell every woman to break the chain. Let it surface, let it come up. Tell the truth, break it. Every chain that breaks, you're becoming more and more free.
Yeah, and definitely don't be scared to tell even a stranger, because the person that is probably most negative and gonna tell you the wrong thing is right there in your face. I will never forget the first time my mom told me that my husband today is the same as my stepdad. That made it so clear in my mind, like, okay, you really wanted me to be the same as you were. I don't have an abusive husband. I don't have a alcoholic and drug addicted husband. I don't have a husband that's molesting and doing all this stuff. So I'm very happy. And
You have
that
a
revealed to
husband
me
in
that I
church
can do it.
praising God.
Exactly. So
And two, for so long I used to be ashamed and had the secrets of struggling silently. I didn't come clean till we were in Chicago, and nobody knew that I was struggling silently. I was battling with rejection. I was battling silently with, I don't have a mom, I don't have a dad. And on top of that, I'm like, I just turned 25, I just got my master's degree. And of course, I have a wonderful godmom, and my mom here, who I call my mom and is my mom. But I was like, I was still battling because I was like, I felt like I felt an identity crisis. I was like, all this stuff is happening. And I'm like, I sat back and I realized that my dad's not even here to recognize this and to acknowledge this. My mom isn't here. My biological family, they don't understand. So I'm struggling silently, trying to figure out who understands what I'm going through. Who really understands? Yes, each of us have our own testimonies, and pain is pain, but nobody has went through the experiences that we have went through in chronological order, that have shaped our emotions, that have shaped who we are. So we can sympathize, but we can't empathize in a certain way. So it's like, who understands? But when I spoke and said, I'm struggling silently, Mom, I'm struggling, then that's when I exposed that.
Absolutely.
Because the devil
Absolutely.
wanted to keep me struggling silently, because if I was silent, I was going to stay that way. But when I spoke it and said, I'm struggling silently, I acknowledge it and I began to fight it and started realizing the devil tried to keep my secrets, tried to keep it buried because I was ashamed. But now I'm fighting it. I'm facing it. I'm casting down every thought. I'm casting it down like, no, I reject that thought. I renounce that thought. That's not who I am. I'm not struggling. I'm good and I'm okay. And I began to see that I was really now experiencing peace that surpasses all understanding.
And I was
after
gonna
I
say that.
spoke it.
I was gonna say that too. I think what I would say, especially being like, I think I'm Gen Z, technically, I don't know. But I think like this generation right now, I think there's so much pride that comes with, oh, I gotta move in silence. You know what I mean? Nobody knows what I'm up to.
Social media, I gotta look a certain
I gotta
way.
look a certain way. I gotta move in silence. But I just, I think to myself, like, how many tears could have been saved? How much hurt could have been avoided if I had just spoken to someone, if I just opened up? So I think my advice to your point would be, you have to speak up to somebody. You have to let it out and say something to someone, because there is no award, there is no medal, there's no first place trophy for suffering in silence. It is lonely, and that's where the devil wants you to be. But as soon as you say it out loud and you acknowledge it and you tell somebody, say, hey, China, I need some help right now, girl. Pray with me. Talk with me. Stay up with me. It makes a difference, because it makes the problem, secrets feel so big when you're the only one holding them. But once you share it, it's like, it wasn't that big after all.
Absolutely.
So that would be my advice.
And it's like, who's in your corner for real? Like, who can you trust to even talk to? Yeah.
And that's what I love about this forum, counseling. Go to counseling. Find your therapist. We got two. Counseling is awesome. Having a personal therapist is wonderful, but it's something so liberating about this forum. And I just sat back and just watched like a proud peacock the day y'all were sharing, because it was like one person sharing caused another one to open up, seemingly with something even deeper. And then those two, as they talked through their tears, caused somebody else to. And so it's one thing to get therapy, wonderful, 100%. Everybody needs a therapist. But it was something more liberating with being with a group of women who trusted you enough on the one hand, but then on the other hand, felt empowered and had that shift that we're talking about, empower and getting that power back. China's been going through some things that we were talking about, and as she's talking, I'm like, oh girl, you're getting your power back. You are getting it, because she's so elated about the things that she's being able to do. And so all of it is tied together. Uncovering baggage, reclaiming the fruit, having a shift in power, all of it works hand in hand. And it's just something invigorating about having these conversations with other women, and not just therapy is good, but it's something about girls who are your age, and just being able to let your guard down. Let your guard all the way down and just open up. It's just kind of like,
okay to cry.
It's
okay
like
to be weak.
emptying out to be
Yeah.
filled up.
Yeah.
Make
room.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's talk about, as we get ready to close this episode out, each of you give me one word to describe your transformation. Just one word.
I think my word would be revealing. It's been very revealing, uncovering certain things, revealing in the way of being vulnerable in ways I haven't had to be vulnerable before. So I would say revealing is the word for me.
It's good.
I would say stripping. Not what y'all, not get y'all mind out the gutter. Get y'all mind out the gutters. I'm looking at y'all sitting like, oh,
if that's what she wants. If that's what you want to do.
Stripping, because I feel that I was stripped of so many things. And during and throughout this process, I was stripped of an identity crisis. I was stripped of old habits. I was stripped of old thoughts. I was stripped of old hindrances. I was stripped of limitations I put on myself. I was stripped of hindrances, restrictions. I was stripped literally until there was nothing left to be stripped. I was stripped all the way down. Stripped of everything that I thought I was. I was stripped. Just imagine of something being stripped
Taken
off of you. And of course,
that's baggage.
Yes, the baggage. It was stripped off of me. And on top of that, imagine if like you have a Band-Aid and it was stripped off your arm. It's gonna hurt. So while it was being removed, it hurt too.
But it was covering up
It
what
was
needed to breathe.
Yes,
Yeah.
what needed to properly heal.
That's
Yes.
good. Stripping, revelations. You have a word, see it?
What was the question again?
One word to describe your transformation. If you could think of one word. Since, I know you've been in a transformative process for a long time, but since the Uncovering Hidden Baggage Forum. Give it a minute. You keep thinking. I'm going to go back to a comment China made, and I want all of us to be careful with this. Judgment, being judgmental, comes in all different forms. So when most women say, oh, I didn't want to open up because I didn't want to be judged, or I didn't open up because I was ashamed, or I just didn't open up, whatever the reason is. But if the word judgment is used, judgment comes in different forms. And I was thinking about it as China was speaking earlier, because most people would look when she said I was struggling. I just got my master's, but I'm struggling. I'm a first-generation college graduate in the biological part of my family that I know, but I'm struggling. I am a mentor in ministry. I work in ministry. I'm esteemed in ministry, but I'm struggling. I'm 25 years old, and I've been living in a 300,000 plus house by myself for the last 2 years, but I'm struggling. It's easy to judge that and say, what's she struggling for? She got everything. And this is what the culture we live in would do. She ain't got nothing to worry about. They would look at her social media page and just think she has it all together and everything is working for her good, and it is. However, this says that we have to be careful with what we see. You see people that make you feel bad about where you are. You see other women who have made such strides and are thriving in ways that you aren't. You see women who have all of the things that you're waiting on. You see women who have grown up in ways that you could only dream of. You see these things and you don't know that they are suffering silently. And this is what we choose not to do anymore because we have each other. And it is our story and it's someone else's future. And y'all know I say all the time, you go through for somebody else. It doesn't seem like it when you're going through. It seems like it's about you, but we all go through for somebody else. Did you think of your word? It's okay if you can't come up with one.
Since we're talking about how long it took, I mean, it's been challenging. It's challenging altogether.
Your transformation process is just challenging. But I can say, from working with you and being in relationship with you for a while now, your challenging has been good because it has grown you in ways that only people who have known you for a while would know. You don't look like the same person. And I mean that. You just look free, even with the struggles that are still there. You look like you're ready for the future and to face it and take it on with power and confidence. And that's what's important. So we'll leave with those few
And I want
words.
to say something
Mhm.
to Sydney, if you don't mind.
Oh, no.
I sensed something similar to Mom this morning. I told her that there's a difference between a push and a press. And I want to say that if I was to give you a word, I would say press, because there's a difference when you're pushing, but you begin to press when there's a wall right there and you can't see what's on the other wall, but you're still pressing towards it. In this season, we're being close. We've been right there every weekend, almost every day.
Too.
Yes. And I could just say the press.
Yeah.
You've been pressing.
Yeah.
And that's where the power comes in. If you look at the lady with the issue of blood, she pressed through the crowd. So press. Yes.
She crawled. Let's get it right. She crawled. She was desperate.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
But she pressed through that crawl.
I would say too, because I was also thinking about Sydney's word because she was taking a long time.
I'm the slow one again.
And I was like, from the outside looking in, though, I would say your word to me would be inspiring. Like because I look
Get
at
a
you
tissue.
like Sydney. I know she's a crier, but Sydney is the one who got me to move from like the fifth row to the first row
at church.
At church. You know what I mean? Like Sydney and China. I was gonna say in China. They both were like, "Come on up here, girl." And so every time I'm back church now, I'm on the front row, and I'm always so inspired by seeing you because you go through so much, and it's talked about a little bit in the forums and sometimes at church as well. And to see you and your husband always showing up. and to, like she said, just continuing to press. And it's inspiring somebody like me who's kind of new in the walk to have someone to look up to like you that's like, you know what, if Sydney can get through this, so can I. And I know I can lean on her and count on her.
That's good. So let this episode and everything that we're doing together as women just remind us that you can never reclaim what you're afraid to uncover. And all I can say is we can take a deep breath. Woo! I don't know how you all feel, but I feel challenged. I feel encouraged. I'm reminded that no matter how deep the roots have been and no matter how much baggage has been covered up, freedom is still possible. And so to all of you, the first group and you all who have shared today, thank you so much for your honesty. Thank you for your transparency. Thank you for your courage to become. Thank you for just sharing parts of your story. And we hope that it will be eye-opening for someone who's listening, and for our viewers and our listeners, if there's anyone who has been touched by anything that we have said or shared today, I challenge you to pray about it and ask yourself, what fruit in my life needs to be reclaimed? What are the things that I have hidden so deeply in my life that one day when the rug is pulled back, it'll come out and I still have to deal with it? If you can envision for yourself the cliche of sweeping things under the rug, that's exactly what we do with hidden baggage. Even if it's generationally, even if it's those things that have been passed down to us by no fault of our own, you still have to face it. You still have to first uncover it to face it and deal with it to be the very best possible version of yourself that you can be. So the healing is a process, but the fruit is the promise. And no matter how isolated or lonely you feel, you don't have to carry it along. So we'll be back for the next episode with a powerful story from a young lady who will share with you what grace under pressure looks like. But until then, we thank you for tuning in. We're excited about this season, and never forget, it is our story and your future. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, ladies.